Welcome to Audit Archive, where we run you through some of the most questionable and rather atrocious police encounters. Today, we're looking at a case where a sergeant essentially sneaked up behind a truck to observe what the driver was doing, and then unlawfully detained him to demand ID. On October 29, 2023, a man named Matthew Spaccarelli was hosting an event at a racetrack in Concord, North Carolina, where he had official permission to be. As the event came to an end, he went to the showers and bathrooms at the venue. Soon enough, he was in his vehicle pulling out into the main road when he got a radio alert of an aircraft squawking 7700 in an emergency. This is a code used by pilots in the air who wish to indicate an emergency and inform all tracking ground controllers that the aircraft has a serious issue on board and should be given appropriate assistance. In response to this alert, Mr. Matthew pulled over to the shoulder to track and listen to the flight. This was when Sergeant Collins with the Concord Police Department pulled up behind him. But a very important fact worth keeping in mind is that the sergeant did not have lights and sirens turned on. The following events were captured on Mr. Matthew's mobile phone.
Let's just get this on the record. I have to be suspected of committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or had committed a crime. I didn't do any of those. I did what I could to dispel your suspicion. I told you exactly what was going on. I showed you the apps on my phone. I show you the plane here that's an emergency aircraft diverting to Dublin. I told you exactly what's going on, and in fact, here's the security code. 135 or 134 is what the security officer told me the code was to the bathroom, and you can go over there and verify that. To identify me for suspicion, you have to have a reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime had been committed.
Matches the description of campers that
What's the description of the vehicle?
We have a white Dodge truck.
There's a lot of white Dodge trucks.
That's very accurate. So you're here, we're getting a call from security who manages ZMAX.
Okay.
Your truck matches the description of the truck that is used to steal campers. Your truck comes back to a business.
Does this description of the truck that steals campers, did they get a license plate?
No.
Did they get anything other than a white Dodge truck?
No.
That's not reasonable, articulable suspicion that this is the truck.
Exactly. That's why I have to identify you, because if you
identifying me is not going to help you find out whether or not I've committed any crime.
Stolen tonight, then I know I can eliminate you because I came and talked to you.
You can't eliminate me. What if I came back to steal a camper?
Well, then I already have your information.
But do you see what I'm saying?
As seen in the footage, Sergeant Collins claimed that the department received a call from the security at the racetrack, who claimed that there was a white truck stealing campers. Coincidentally, Mr. Matthew was driving a white truck, which apparently gave the sergeant a good enough reason to detain him and demand ID. Now, there are a couple points worth mentioning. First of all, aside from conducting a routine stop, police officers aren't given much difference when it comes to suspecting that someone has violated a law. When someone has reasonable suspicion, they may choose to conduct a search of you and/or your vehicle if they have several probable cause. However, there are also limitations to what the police can search. In other words, and as mentioned by Mr. Matthew himself, an officer must have reasonable, articulable suspicion in order to detain someone, meaning that the officer must suspect you of a crime. In this case, one may argue that the officer indeed had enough suspicion to legally detain Mr. Matthew. But one may also say that just because he was in a white truck that remotely matched the description wasn't enough to pursue him. But one thing that's for sure is even though the officer essentially pulled Mr. Matthew over and is now conducting an alleged investigation, it should be severely easy to dispel her suspicion, especially by seeing that the white truck did not have a camper towed behind the truck, meaning no camper was being stolen, which might also mean that there was essentially no suspicion to begin with.
It doesn't make sense.
It does.
I don't have to give you my license if it's not a stop on ID state and I didn't commit a crime.
So
can we have a supervisor, please?
I am a sergeant.
It doesn't make any sense, Sergeant.
That's fine. You are here in an area.
What if I decline to give you my ID?
Then
am I free to go?
No.
I'm not free to go.
No.
You said it wasn't a traffic stop.
No.
It's not a traffic stop, but a call for service isn't enough.
Yes, it is.
It's not enough.
State of North Carolina, yes, it is.
It's not enough, Sergeant.
All right, well, hold on. I'll get a lieutenant out here, and we'll either determine if you're going to jail or not because you're failing.
Wait, hold on. Why would I go to jail for a conversation?
Because you're not giving me your identification.
Sergeant, Miss Collins, let me tell you the problem with policing. You guys are so quick to throw people in jail. I didn't do anything wrong. I just told you what I was doing. Because I believe.
Did you put your information in?
Here's why.
And we're done.
Here's why. You swore an oath to defend the Constitution. You don't have reasonable articulable
I do
suspicion.
at this point.
You
You're
don't.
in an area, you
Here's
match
what
the
I'll do.
description of the
I'm
call.
going to give you my license, and I'm going to file a complaint.
That's fine.
We're going to make this a YouTube video.
That's fine.
We're going to make it go famous.
That's fine.
And Miss Collins, I apologize because there's a lot of people out there doing a good job, but I don't think that you're doing the right thing.
That's fine. And I will explain the complaint process and everything to you so that way.
And can you give me a complaint form?
I cannot. It's at our police department. I'll give you the address.
We're going to do the complaint.
Okay, that's fine.
We're going to do the complaint.
Thank you, sir.
Oh wait, can I see this for a second?
In a second. 350 Concord, 27 out of California.
What I should have done, ma'am, is put it on the dashboard and made you take it.
It's going to be out of California. Adam 5098224. Adam 5098224 out of California.
Can I go get a complaint form now?
Yes, sir.
They're open.
Yes.
They will give me one?
Yes, so if you go to the
And
address,
listen, it's not about you.
That's fine. I get it.
It's about the Constitution, and I believe,
I understand.
and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will stand corrected, but we're going to go through the process and
That's fine.
figure it out.
That's completely fine. So,
You know what I mean? Like,
I
it's
got
just,
you.
it's just asinine.
do you want me to write it down, the address for you? Or you going to
Sure.
put it in your GPS?
No, you can write it down and I'll put it in the GPS. Oh, I mean, I could put it in the GPS now.
That's
well,
fine. I'm just, whatever's easiest for you.
yeah.
So this is where the ordeal got rather ridiculous. Sergeant Collins was determined to get Mr. Matthews' ID in one way or another, even though 1, there was absolutely no lawful justification to seize his ID, and 2, determining Mr. Matthews' identity would contribute absolutely nothing to the sergeant's so-called investigation. In addition to this, an interesting and rather crucial point worth noting is that, unlike some states, North Carolina has no stop and identify statute. This means that, as a general rule, a person who is stopped by police in North Carolina is not required to provide his or her name or produce identification. However, pursuant to NCGS Section 20-29, a driver of a motor vehicle is required to produce a license upon the request of an officer. Therefore, unless you are stopped while operating a motor vehicle, you have no legal obligation to give a police officer your name or any identification when asked. But here's the deal. Sergeant Collins, in her own words, made it clear that this was not a traffic stop, meaning that Mr. Matthew was not obligated to provide any ID whatsoever, even if he was in a vehicle at this point. By extension, even though Mr. Matthew did go ahead and provide her with ID, it was solely because she was giving him an order and he knew that if he didn't comply, he would most certainly be taking a trip down to the jail, which not only sounds outrageous but is unfortunately true. Sergeant Collins had violated Mr. Matthews' Fourth Amendment, which outlines that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. In this case, she had seized his license and was unreasonably searching him by running his information through the system over the radio. Interestingly, the federal criminal statute that enforces constitutional limits on conduct by law enforcement officers is 18 U.S.C. Section 242, which states, "Whoever, under color of any law, willfully subjects any person to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States shall be guilty of a crime." Keeping all this in mind, let's continue with the footage.
Just, my ID does nothing for you. It doesn't. It's like,
It does. It
don't take
identifies
offense
you.
to this. ID is like crack for cops. It just is. I mean, I watched the YouTube videos. I'm sure you must as well. It's crazy. It's crazy how policing these days want to lock everybody up. What's the address?
It's 41 Cabarrus Avenue, C-A-B-A-R-R-U-S, West.
Concord 4350.
West.
Good.
This is it? Concord, Cabarrus
Yes, sir.
Avenue West?
27 on Matthews, Becker, California, showing valid 10-29-75.
Oops, 10-10-75.
I'm sorry, sir.
What is 10-10-75?
You're not wanted.
Oh, I thought it was like my birthday. I'm like, that's not my birthday.
No, you're not wanted. So you'll go up to the police department. The doors are locked, but there's going to be a panel on the right-hand
button or
side.
something like
Push
that.
that button. They're going to ask what you need.
So this is it though, right? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's way over here?
Yes, sir. It's on our. You're.
Oh, yeah, it's Concord Police.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought it was my
Yeah,
sheriff's
yeah.
department.
No, you're at the police department. Push the button on the side. She's going to ask what you need. Tell her that you need a complaint form. There is going to be a form that she's supposed to give you. You'll fill it out. They're going to call for a supervisor. It's not going to be me because obviously you're filing the complaint on me, so I'm not going to show up and take my own complaint. Makes it fair. Another supervisor will show up. They're supposed to talk to you about the complaint. You fill out the complaint form. You give it to them. It then goes into our.
And they could do all this tonight?
Sir?
They could do all this tonight?
The form will go in, yes.
But I mean, somebody will come and talk to me tonight?
They should, yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
As long as we're not hot on a call or anything like that,
sure.
They should be able to come up and take the complaint form from you. Other than that.
And again, man, you understand where I'm coming from. It's just like what's happening now that I just pulled over to watch a thing. You know,
I get it.
Being safe,
I understand.
and just because
but at the same time, you're in an area that your vehicle matches the description. I know you don't know.
This is not a bad area, right?
I get that. I know you don't know. But
I don't know, but it's not come on.
We get a call from the people who do the security here. Your car, your truck matches the description. So I have to obviously get out, talk with you, identify you, make sure I know who you are.
I mean, what you could have done, because I wasn't even paying attention, is park back there, ways back, not turn on your lights, and watch to see what I was going to do or doing.
I honestly don't have the time to do that.
Remember the fact that Sergeant Collins pulled up behind Mr. Matthews' truck without lights and sirens switched on? Well, Mr. Matthew gives a very logical and reasonable explanation for it. The sergeant was parked behind him to try and watch what he was up to, essentially fishing for a reason to escalate things. If Sergeant Collins actually had reasonable suspicion of Mr. Matthew stealing the campers, she would have pulled up behind him with lights and sirens to initiate an official traffic stop. Also, it would be illogical to say that Mr. Matthew pulling over to the shoulder of the road is suspicious in any way. Definitely not worth a sergeant trying to spy on him to see what he's up to. Plus, it's not illegal to pull over to the shoulder according to the North Carolina Traffic Ordinance Manual, which highlights that parking any vehicle on the shoulder of any public road is prohibited by general statute unless the vehicle is visible for 200 feet in either direction and does not obstruct traffic. Anyway, by now, all Sergeant Collins really did with Mr. Matthews' ID was check if his record was clear, which of course provided no value to her made-up investigation, even if it was real. Now that she knew she'd be getting a complaint filed against her, watch as she engaged in a casual conversation with Mr. Matthew, almost as if she hadn't just violated his rights.
Yeah, well, I mean, getting my ID does nothing. Here's my schedule, just so you know. Austin, New Orleans, Charlotte, Dover, New York, New Hampshire, Detroit, Denver, Salt Lake City.
What are you doing for the Speedway?
Nobody told you?
No.
You didn't get the email?
No.
Must not have been in your business then, is it?
I'm the low man on the totem pole, so I don't get
You can
to
take
know
a joke, though,
yeah.
right? Okay. Did you get the joke, though?
I did get it.
My friend always tells me that.
Well,
and I say that to my wife, it drives her crazy.
Oh,
I do mobile marketing promotions, and we're doing a promotion for a company.
Okay.
So we have these events that are, this is Charlotte, 12th to the 14th. We set it up today. They do the event tomorrow. They do it half of the day, the 14th. And tomorrow, the reason why I'm here is I'm just trying to scope out the area because I need to go. See, my check engine light is on right here.
Yeah, that's not good.
And
At least it's not flashing.
And you see this truck here that has 6,814 miles on it?
That's really not good.
This truck was bought to replace one that broke down that's in Beaumont, Texas. That was a 2022. The transmission blew up. We bought this one, and now I have a constant regen. I've been taking photos of the thing.
Welcome to Dodge's engine problems.
Yeah.
They're not new.
Yeah, I know.
So
we're suing for the other one. It's a buyback.
Is it a lemon?
Yes, it qualified as a lemon, but they didn't want to come up $1,300 to cover the costs that we incurred, so we had to hire an attorney. The attorney is working that out now out of Wisconsin, because that's where it was bought. This one was bought in Pennsylvania because we were in a rental truck and we had to swap to get out of the rental. So I had to fly into Pennsylvania, picked up the rental car, drove to Beaumont, Texas, dropped it off, returned the rental, flew home, and then my boss had this truck, and then his promo was over and I had to do a promo, so we swap trucks all the time.
And now you just getting the short end of the stick with the one that's got the check engine light on.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
There is a Dodge dealership right up around the corner.
No, Hendricks. I was already mapping it out and scoping it out. But I take copious notes when I call FCA. These are my notes.
That's good, because if it's not written down, it didn't happen.
Right. And so 9/12 was today? Yesterday? Yeah.
Yesterday.
That was the latest call that I had. It's a nightmare.
Well, be safe.
It's already been in the shop for 6 days, and they said, "Oh, there's no problem with it." I'm like,
my best suggestion, if you are staying,
just release and reapply brake tissue. Oh, I had my foot on the brake too.
If
I have it. I have my foot on the brake all the time,
even
if it's in park, just because
things move, even if they are in park.
So.
If you are staying over here on the campgrounds?
No, I think I'm going to go back to the speedway.
Okay. I was going to say, if you are, I would move wherever it is so you're not on the side of the shoulder.
You know what's funny? I saw a truck driving around over there. It was a white pickup truck. I don't know if that's a security truck.
One of them is.
But then I'm parked right where the bathrooms are. And I had my parking lights on, and the truck is running, and I'm in a parking lot looking at my phone, and the guy drove right by me and took off right down this road leaving. And then I stayed there like another 3 to 5 minutes, and then just drove away at a normal rate of speed. Like, I'm not in a hurry.
I got you.
And then pulled right out and pulled right over here. So, and here's the thing too. Using your, how long have you been a police officer for?
6 going on 7 years.
6 going on 7 years. And again, this is just how I talk. Why the would I leave a place if I was scoping someplace out and then park right here in front of the place? I know criminals are stupid,
I was gonna say,
but they're not that stupid.
Actually, unfortunately, I have seen them do dumber things.
As we've just seen, even after Sergeant Collins' tyranny was basically exposed, she continued to try and justify her actions, claiming that she indeed had a good enough reason to detain Mr. Matthew. Plus, we've already discussed how pulling over on the shoulder is neither illegal nor suspicious in that regard, leaving Sergeant Collins with no logical reason to justify herself. And since she claimed that she was just checking in, here's an interesting rebuttal to that. Just to check is a violation of Americans' Fourth Amendment rights. Our government cannot investigate us without cause. The police in America cannot just check. They must justify the check.
But I don't know you.
But I gave you a good explanation,
yes,
and I was
I've also had
honest
people
with
who
you.
give me good explanations that are criminals.
And if I wasn't driving a company truck, I would not have given you my ID. And for you to threaten to take me to jail just because you didn't like what I said, that's why I'm going to go do the complaint.
That's fine.
That's f***ed up.
5 minutes, you can park.
Sorry about the lane.
It's
It's
fine.
just the way it
I've heard worse and been called worse
but
at
I'm
this
not,
point in my life.
I'm not directing
I
it
know.
at you.
I get it.
I'm directing it in
Typical.
general.
I got you. It's good to be frustrated, and that's how some people release.
Venting.
Yes. So, be safe. Like I said, if you want to go down, you can go down now. Someone is there at the police department.
I'm going to go down.
And press the button on the side and tell them you need a complaint form, okay?
Got it.
All right, do you need anything else from me, sir?
No, before I leave, though, I'm going to take it out of this GPS and put it in this GPS because it goes there, so I don't have to have my phone on my lap.
I'll actually write it down for you, so just in case.
No, I got to, like, if I just do this, it'll show
Okay.
it. Well, wait, yeah, that's it. No, that's not it.
Yeah, this.
Oh, it is it. So, no, I
All
just
right,
do
do you need anything else? Don't hesitate to holler.
Okay.
Be safe and have a good night, okay?
Thank you, you too.
By the end of it, Mr. Matthew proceeded to follow the instructions for filing a formal complaint with the Concord Police Department against Sergeant Collins. As of the date of this recording, Mr. Matthew has not received a response from the department, and no further updates have been made in regards to it. Be sure to check out our previous video where we cover another outrageous police encounter